Hey everyone, I'm Ephraim Ausch from Tactical Logistic Solutions. We're an end-to-end logistics provider for Amazon and e-commerce sellers. I have a very special guest, a good friend of mine, Nadav from Capec. It's good to see you.
Great to be here. So I'm Nadav Gorlicki, founder and CEO of Capec. Capec was started about 4 years ago to give finance solutions for growing sellers, um, partnering with them to finance their inventory and allowing them basically to never stock out and have as much as inventory as they need as they grow without having to make an equity investment or risk their own money. We believe in this structure to allow sellers to grow to their full potential.
Where do you see, Nadav, where sellers are really struggling now? I'm talking to a lot of sellers. You're talking to a lot of sellers. Where do you see the biggest struggle at the moment?
Obviously, hopefully, our sellers are growing, and that's what we see. And especially with all the added costs that have come in unexpectedly, whether it's tariffs or delays that cause from tariffs. This has become very hard in managing cash flow when it comes to managing your business. Things have changed, and even if you had a very organized cash flow management, now you have to deal with unexpected expenses or or maybe delays in your ROI and your cash flow. So this is where Capital can definitely help. Our model is very much based on your cash flow compared to other finance solutions out there. We basically pay for the inventory when it's ready to your suppliers exactly. So even if you have delays in your manufacturing, we correlate exactly to those dates, and then we build the repayments to match and correlate with your ROI, basically your Amazon payments and payouts. So this gives you very steady cash flow and creates a much more stable and relaxed business environment, especially when you're growing.
And also what's happening now, what I'm seeing also struggles with sellers is the tariffs obviously is a huge part of it, and then also the Amazon increased fees that they have. At the same time, you have um, till they just like they give you a payment till they get the disbursement, where you see people struggle with cash flow, and also like timing wise, like it used to be where you order a product in China, there was no delays whatsoever. Now, yeah, there's not really delays on the order. There's not really delays in manufacturing, except if there was an issue with manufacturing. We see a lot of delays getting into Amazon, right? So people have to now order more in advance. People have to order more product in advance because they don't want to run out of stock, right? So that's where also I've seen causing a lot of times cash flow issues where like when you have a seasonal seller or somebody that does usually like gifting items, for example, right? They do well all year round as a product, but in holiday season they become a gifting item. So going from regular sales to 4x, 5x, you have certain brands that do that 4x, 5x. They need to be able to fund those POs, right? And buy that. And problem is that all year round they have only one-time sales. Q4 they're gonna have five times the sales. They need the cash flow to be able to purchase those POs and be able to perform in Q4. So that's where I've seen it's getting tighter and tighter every year, is because tariffs was a factor this year, Amazon fees was a factor this year and last year, and delays to get in product into Amazon is a factor for the last, I would say, 2 years. But even since COVID, they didn't improve that much. So um, people always have to keep in mind they need to have a buffer somewhere in their warehouse or in their house or something, and then they have an AWD on the water. So there's a lot more product laying around before it could even sell versus like it used to be. So
I think a very important point on what you said is yes, in general, inventory efficiency is probably one of the most important because that's where all our capital is sitting around. And if it's just sitting, then it's costing us money that isn't being used for other things. But on the other hand, it gets 10 times harder in Q4 because you have huge potential of bringing in a lot of business. So you don't want to bring not enough product. On the other hand, if you get too much product into Amazon early and it doesn't sell, you're going to pay these
crazy storage
enormous,
fees.
crazy storage fees that basically are going to take away all your profits. So, working with a buffer facility like you have at 3PL is a great place because at least, even if you over ordered, you can keep that product in the warehouse and just sell it off during Q1 of next year. But on the other hand, you have that buffer in the warehouse so that you can still throw inventory into Amazon fast, even if you have to use SPD or something like that on a weekly basis, and that helps a lot.
So the point of our collaboration is, on the logistics side, everything moves faster this way. On the selling side, through Capec, you have that headache-free environment in your office where you don't have to like freak out, like, okay, where am I coming up now with this payment? I still didn't finish my sales of my product, things like that. It makes life a lot easier, and at the same time, you know that you could actually keep your company growing while you're going through these transitions of a Q4 to Q1, or it's Q3 to Q4. All these type of scenarios is where probably people get more cash tight. It's like end of Q4, like you said, like people could get that the middle or end of January when they technically need to put in their POs mid of December, based on their sales, and they have to wait for cash that long. And at the same time as Q3, if they have to ramp up for Q4 and they need the help with the cash flow, and you guys pull the data of the last year or so, and you see how it looked like their sales in Q4, what it looked like in the regular seasons of the year, and you give them funding that way. So that if you want to try out Capec but you're not sure how things work, you could start with just getting funding for the shipping, get the experience, get to meet the team, get to see how they work, and then from there you'll be able to see the experience and the peace of mind that you have, how it works. Like, okay, get invoice with a freight forwarder. Here's the invoice. Capec will lay out the money, and pay for it. And then obviously when you're doing your next PO, you could just do the whole experience with Capec, where I believe it could really help and grow your business.
I mean, it's always better and you sleep better when you have that extra money in the back of your
100%.
mind.
100%.
So it's always good to have it than reach the date you need it and not have it.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
So if you want to learn more about Tactical or Capec, Tactical, you could check out our website, tacticallogistic.com, to learn about all our services. And you could check out capec.io for any information about how the funding works. I believe we went through and thoroughly on this conversation, but if you want to see more information, you can obviously check out their website as well. Thank you so much, Nadav, for coming on, having a conversation, and I'm really excited and looking forward to our future collaboration.
Thanks, Evan, for having me, and it's great. And I'm sure this collaboration will give a lot to all our clients.